Welcome to the Advice Show, media with a common sense approach. So last night I found out some very shocking news and I could not wait to report this to you. The U.S. government was found guilty for the assassination of our brother, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. back in 1999 in a civil trial. The mainstream media kept this quiet. They didn't want to cover it. They didn't want to report on this. That a lot of entities inside the U.S. government, and along with crime organizations, was all together to murder our brother. Let me go ahead and roll this clip and I'll be back to talk about it.
Most everyone knows that Dr. King was a courageous Christian minister committed to the nonviolent pursuit of freedom for all people. In this pursuit, he went to jail 29 times. Nothing new so far, but prepare yourself for some stunning surprises. James Earl Ray, a petty criminal who died in 1998 and who, according to the official story, shot Dr. King, in fact did not shoot Dr. King, even though he pleaded guilty in 1969. That's right, James Earl Ray was not, absolutely without any question, not the killer. This footage of Dexter King shaking hands with James Earl Ray speaks volumes. Dexter and the other members of the King family have persevered ever since Dr. King's death to learn the truth about what happened and to make that truth known. They are convinced Ray was not the shooter. Ray's guilty plea comes about on the advice of a lawyer who approaches Ray and offers to represent him. It turns out this lawyer has connections with the true killers. The lawyer tells Ray that a guilty plea will make Ray famous and help him get off with a light sentence. Always easily led, Ray writes out what he's told to. And by the way, it's a guilty plea, not a confession. These facts are found in a book just out, the best single book on the assassination, An Act of State, the Execution of Martin Luther King. On the basis of the guilty plea, Ray is sentenced to 99 years in prison. Ray realizes he's been duped. 3 days after arriving in the penitentiary, he moves for his guilty plea to be set aside and that he be given a trial. But stalling by government officials denies him that for the rest of his life. To his dying day, he insists he did not kill Dr. King. Pepper's book includes a full account of the extensive civil trial into Dr. King's death held in Memphis, Tennessee in 1999. That there was such a trial may be a surprise to you also. The family's suit names as defendants co-conspirators, both named and unknown. The trial is not about money. The family seeks $100 damages. The trial is about the truth. The trial lasts almost a month. 70 witnesses are heard. A jury of 6 black and 6 white persons takes just 1 hour to arrive at a guilty verdict against, quote, the co-conspirators consisting of the named defendant, Lloyd Jowers, and those that the defendant named in his response, namely the United States government, the state of Tennessee, the city of Memphis, and Memphis Police Department, James Earl Ray, Earl Clark, and Frank Liberto, unquote. Earl Clark, now deceased, was the top marksman in the Memphis Police Department. Frank Liberto was a mafia kingpin. Conspirators within the U.S. government, according to the trial and the book, include, quote, J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI, Richard Helms and the CIA, and the military, unquote. The reason all this information probably surprises you is that the mainstream media effectively boycotted the trial. As Pepper writes, the silence following these shocking revelations was deafening. Like the pattern during all the investigations of the assassination throughout the years, no major media outlet would cover the story. It was effectively buried. Just 6 of the many facts that come out at the trial. First, when King arrives in Memphis, he's taken not to his usual hotel, which is safe for him, but rather to another, and given a room he must reach by an exposed balcony readily visible from dense bushes behind Jim's Bar and Grill across the street, and from various high vantage points. Second fact, a special security unit of black officers assigned to King on all his previous visits to Memphis is told it's not required this time. Third fact, defendant Jowers, former owner of Jim's Bar and Grill, admits to receiving and storing a gun the day before the killing, being handed a still smoking gun the day of, and disposing of that gun. Fourth, U.S. Army snipers are positioned on 2 nearby rooftops and a water tower, not, as you'd expect, to protect King, but to back up the assassin in case he misses. He does not. Fifth fact, New York Times reporter Earl Caldwell is in a room close to King's. He comes out when he hears the shot. He and others testify for the trial that they saw a man crouching in the bushes behind Jim's Bar and Grill. This man cannot be James Earl Ray. Reliable witnesses see Ray leave the area before the shot is fired. Fact 6. The day after the killing, early in the morning, a city works crew is sent to cut down and methodically remove the bushes and all debris from behind Jim's Bar and Grill. The order comes from the Memphis Police Department. Whoever killed King, it was not James Earl Ray. He could never have coordinated such a plan or assembled such a task force, and he wasn't at the scene. He is the fall guy. But the trial, in effect, is boycotted by the media. That's why you don't know about it. That's why I didn't know about it until 3 months ago, through James Douglas. King recognized that powerful economic forces stunt history and kill hope. It's important to understand that these powerful forces now include the mainstream media. To study Dr. Martin Luther King's nonviolent quest for social and economic justice as the surest foundation for peace is to recognize him not only as a civil rights leader, but as a man of the hour, even in these troubling days. King's life and death remain important news.
So as you heard in this clip, that they set our brother Martin Luther King up, completely up. They did it very, very meticulously. Did you hear the part where they said that if the guy that they tried to get to assassinate Dr. King, if he did not kill him, they had Army snipers, Army, military, to kill Dr. King. Now, we all know J. Edgar Hoover was a known racist, very, very known racist in the FBI, and he gave a lot of black people hell in that time period. They said the CIA was involved, all these other people was involved, criminal underworld, because they wanted to kill our brother Dr. King because he had too much power all of a sudden, and they couldn't understand why. Not only did Dr. King get black people together, but he was getting whites together as well, and that started to become a problem. You're very powerful when you can get blacks and whites to join together on something. Like that March on Washington our brother Dr. King did, and that I Have a Dream speech. That one man got that many people there, and it just wasn't all black folks, it was blacks and whites there as well during that particular speech. Another thing that made Dr. King and Malcolm X very, very troublesome to the powers that be. There was a picture that came out of Malcolm X and Dr. King, and they was shaking hands, laughing and talking with each other. After Malcolm X got back from Mecca, he had a different attitude toward things, and after he broke away from Elijah Muhammad, because he found out Elijah Muhammad was not living up to what he said he was supposed to be, he still wanted to continue the work he was doing in the community. And when he, earlier in his work of Malcolm X, him and Dr. King didn't really see eye to eye. But after he got back from Mecca and he broke away, he started to eventually start to talk to Dr. King. And that scared him. Could you imagine Malcolm X and Martin Luther King would have got together? Because Malcolm X had a big following of the people. Martin Luther King had a big following of the people. You imagine what they could have done for our community and even society. They couldn't have that. That's why Dr. King had to be killed. And that's why Malcolm X had to be killed as well. They cannot stand, those racists in the government cannot stand to watch powerful black men join our people together or join society together against their corruption, because they're corrupt against everybody, not just black folks. They do a whole lot of dirty stuff to white people too. And let me tell you something, white people, we not your enemy. And I don't know how many times I'm gonna say that. We are not your enemy. Every single time you let these politicians, and especially those conservatives and Fox News and everything else, telling everybody that we your enemy, but yet we don't ship none of your jobs away. We don't steal your tax dollars. We don't do nothing to you, but yet we your enemy. The reason why Dr. King was killed is because that man was making change in this nation. And he was exposing the corruption everywhere, not just the injustice in the black community. Now, if you see what they did, being the government against our brother Dr. King, and you see how the mainstream media, and this is what I'm getting on to, you see how the mainstream media backed it up. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by they backed them up. They covered it up. They didn't want to report it. They kept it silent. I didn't know this. I did not know this, brothers and sisters, till last night by me doing some research. I did not know this. And when I seen this, I was sick to my stomach. I just put my head down. And I say, you mean to tell me that they framed an innocent man, put in the history books, James Earl Ray killed Dr. King. He was just a fall guy. Had this man in prison all his life for something he did not do. I don't believe in nobody being in prison for something they did not do. I don't care who you are. If you're innocent, you don't need to be there. This man sat in prison all his life for a crime he did not commit. And they framed it. They framed him. They tried everything in the book to get Dr. King to quit. They tried to lie on him and say that he was with women. They locked him up all those times, intimidated him, they threatened his family. I mean, this man went through a lot to fight for the cause of his people. And yet they couldn't shake him. So that's what they had to do. Because let me tell you something. If you become too powerful, especially as a brother, they're going to try you a few things. First thing they're going to do is going to try to corrupt you. They're going to try to see if they can corrupt you with money. If they can't get you with money, they'll try to get you with women. If they can't get you that way, they'll try to find some way to embarrass you. Try to find something either you're doing online, something with a woman, something to embarrass you. And if none of that stuff works, then last resort, they're going to have to put you out your misery. That's just the pattern they do. I've been studying how they do things for a long time, the racist entities in this nation, because they are there. And these same racist entities do not have the betterment of white people in either. That's another thing I want to put up. White people, just because you think they're not attacking you, oh yeah, they attack you too. They do a lot of stuff so you can get away with, in my opinion, a whole lot more to you than they do with us. Because we got a big mouth, we'll fight against this stuff and they know it. That's why sometimes they'll hold back. But they do a whole lot of stuff to white people. And white people just sit there and take it. This is the thing. This is telling me that we need to have more research, more and more black unity, definitely unified within our culture. We are too divided. We can't deal with these issues. We can't even join together on social media. I mean, you got brothers and sisters everybody doing their own thing somewhere. And that's fine. Everybody got their own thing to do. And now everybody trying to speak about certain things. But it comes to a time that we have to put some things aside. We all can make money at any time, okay? And I have no issue with anybody making money or whatever. But why can't we join together and stop all this fighting that we're doing, even on social media? We join together so quick to destroy each other. And those who hate us laughing at you every day. They tune in to your videos to watch you destroy each other. We get together so quick to destroy another black person, but we never get together to do something positive for the community at all. It's the truth. You make a video going at somebody, beefing with other black people. Oh boy, you get all the views then. But you talk about something positive. You say something about our children. You say something about education, trying to educate. You don't want to see that. It's just a spectacle to you to watch black people destroy each other, while the whole world actually watch black people destroy each other, and then you don't want nobody to say nothing. Martin Luther King was assassinated by the U.S. government because he was fighting for us to have freedom and fighting for us to have a better life. And when you do all this fighting, you think Martin Luther King would like to see what y'all do online to each other or in the community? But you think Martin Luther King would like to see y'all females twerking all over the place, half naked, showing everything? Do you think that brother died for that? Brothers, do you think that brother died for y'all to be on the corner with your pants hanging off your behind, shooting each other every single day, killing up our innocent men, women, and children, our elderly afraid to leave their homes because you terrorizing the streets? You think Martin would like to see that? You think he took that bullet from the government for all that? I know he didn't. And me, myself, I can't sit here and just not try to make something good out of my life, not try to make a difference, and let not only him, but all my other ancestors' deaths be in vain. I just can't do that. That's why I don't even want to even participate in some things. Yes, I got issues with people sometimes, but you know what? It's like, it is what it is. You know, it's not that big of a deal. Because I'd rather not do this public fighting with another black man or black woman in public. I'd rather take it off of YouTube, especially if I have an issue, I'm going to take it off of here. Let's go to Blog Talk Radio. Let's go somewhere else and discuss it. I don't discuss it here because too many people come here on this website. And we need to stop all this back and forth, making a public spectacle, and black people always putting on a show, but nobody else doing that. You ever see that? You ever see a bunch of white YouTubers just beefing 24/7? Dropping information on each other, talking about each other's kids, talking about each other's spouses, just being nasty. You see, no, I don't see that. But leave it to black folks. That's all we do on social media. We can't even argue just to keep the argument where it's at. No, we got to get dirty with the stuff. And that's sad. You got a freedom and something Dr. King never had, social media. I bet you Dr. King would wish he had social media to organize boycotts, to get everybody together for speeches, to do different things. Just the quick of a cell phone or the computer. You could do a whole lot that Dr. King never could do. Now that man did all that with no internet, no cell phone, just word of mouth. We live in a time period we can spread this message all over the world, whatever we're trying to say. But we can't make ourselves look like clowns 24/7 fighting each other. Yes, we're going to disagree. Who agrees with everything? But we got to stop all that. We got to stop, I'm about to one-up this one. And as black men, we got to stop this competition that we got. We got this like unseen competition. We always got to be better than the next black man. You can't just be content where you're at. You got to be better. You always got to show this brother up and show that brother up. Just be happy and content where you're at. And just progress in your own life. Don't worry about another brother, what he got going on. Just focus on you, my brother. I mean, this stuff is just, like I said, if we don't really try to come together on things in one accord and try to fix some of our issues and fix some of our problems, they're going to stay the same. And Dr. King didn't take that bullet for us just to be in this mess. That's why I speak against single mothers. Not single mothers from marriages, not single mothers from relationships that just fell apart. But I speak against that random, just baby with all these different dudes. I speak against thugs because Dr. King didn't die for a bunch of black men to be on the street killing each other, dealing that poison in the community, having our elderly people scared to walk out the house. He didn't die for that. So yes, I'm going to speak against that. I'm going to speak for the traditional family of one man and one woman. Yes, I am, because we need that to grow our community. So, of course, I'm going to always speak and defend that, period. The entity of family, not even in the black community, but in all communities, is being attacked. And if you can destroy the family, you destroy a nation. And we can't let that happen. In that time period, everybody's family union was strong. Not just black folks, everybody. And that's what we need to get back to. And that's definitely my passion, is the family and the traditional family and watching us just grow and be better people. But we got to get off of this attacking each other. We got to get off of this trying to destroy each other in public. Set our differences aside and focus on what's going on, because look at what they did to our brother. So they ain't worried about none of us now. Because we not doing nothing. That's why. Because it don't take much to get you to argue. All you got to say, oh, he talking about you. Oh, really? Oh, I got something for him. Or I got something for her. That's why they ain't got nothing to worry about us no more. I mean, think about it. Dr. King was so powerful, it went all the way up to the military. It went all the way up to the FBI, CIA to take him out. But today, they ain't gonna do nothing to you. What for? You ain't doing a doggone thing. As long as you happy with some Jordans, some hair, clothes, cars, shoes, as long as you got that, you fine. They ain't worried about you, and that's sad. That is so sad. I don't know what y'all think about this particular thing with Dr. King. It's messed up, man. But this stuff been going on against our people ever since we got here. The government sanctioning our destruction and doing things to us. Hit me up in the comments, future commentaries, subscribe.